Hello, everybody. This is Ryan Gilkerson, lead creative at Company 119, and we want to welcome you once again to the Coffee Cup, our podcast where we talk about all things digital marketing and sales related. So recently, I had an opportunity to head out to the windy city of Chicago to attend Digital Summit 2018. I had a great time. You've seen a lot of the footage that I shot there. We've got more to come, by the way. But while I was there, I had an opportunity to interact with a company that we've watched over the last couple of years that they've done some really interesting things in terms of digital advertising. And that company is Genius Monkey. And today I've got Jeremy Hudgens on with us. And Jeremy is their Chief Revenue Officer. He's also the Director of Client Solutions with Genius Monkey. And I had a chance to see him speak in Chicago. And I wanted to have him on the podcast so you could hear some of the insight that I had a chance to take part in. So Jeremy, we want to thank you for taking the time out to connect with us today.
Absolutely, man. It's great to be here.
We're breaching, 3 different time zones to connect today? So, the miracle of technology, right?
Right.
Well, Genius Monkey, first of all, when you go to trade shows in the digital space and you see Genius Monkey, right away they stand out because they have this awesome presentation that they have with these games. You build your own catapults and you're flinging bananas at targets and all this crazy madness that you get to do at their stand. But it's all the genius of letting you see how to be more targeted with your marketing. And I think it's brilliant the way you guys get everybody to come and talk to you. But talk about how that display that you have translates to your philosophy on reaching the right people through digital marketing.
Well, I think first it translates because we believe in having fun. So,
absolutely.
There's that. We always like to try to put a little humor, a little bit of fun in everything. But, our objective as a company is to help our clients to be able to hit their target audience in the most efficient and effective way possible. And so, we kind of came up with using those catapults to exemplify that. And that's what it's about.
Everybody always wants to stop by your booth. There's no argument with that. So when you're talking about what Genius Monkey does through the advertising that you're able to offer people, you're not just reaching out on Facebook and Google, which are the two routes that everybody seems to go when they think of advertising channels digitally. You guys go into some really unique and really different channels in order to reach customers. So talk a little bit about what Genius Monkey does and some of the different ways you've used to kind of get outside of that Google, Facebook box.
Yeah, no, a good question. Well, the name of our parent company is Optimize. It really kind of informs everything that we do. We believe in, constant and never-ending improvement. And so, when we started fiddling around with this thing, well over a decade ago, and seeing that, we can see great results by leveraging at that time what was really early iterations of programmatic buying and, using behavioral targeting and buying in real time. We saw great results, but then we're like, well, hey, if we added in another network or two, what could that do to our performance? Sure. And so with that, it just kind of expanded from there. So we have what we refer to as a media agnostic approach, tapping into virtually all the various networks, exchanges, and DSPs, which allows us to be able to create a real-time marketplace for your marketing dollars in order to find the most cost-effective and direct route to your audience. And so another way that I like to explain is very similar how a hedge fund on Wall Street uses algorithms to find hidden value in the stock marketplace. Sure. We're doing the same thing to find hidden value in the digital media marketplace. Sites like CNN or ESPN or the Bleacher Report or what have you, they're not going to be tapped into just one network or DSP. They're going to be tapped into dozens. The question is, which one has the most cost-effective and direct route to your audience? And so our job is really a delivery platform to get your message in front of that audience in the most cost-effective means possible. Not every one of those deals through each of those channels has been negotiated equally. Yeah. And to boot, demand and supply within each channel is also going to be affecting the costs. And so we want to make sure that we have the most cost-effective route at this moment in time. So
one of the things that you do very well is find that segment and that demographic and really hone in on very, very specific demographics. How important is that specificity to cost effectiveness when you're talking about the type of advertising streams that you're reaching out to?
It's everything. I mean, we talk cost effectiveness because we don't actually charge based upon a click, or pardon me, we don't charge based upon an impression, which is the standard within the industry. We charge based upon an engagement. In a display campaign, that would be a click. On a video, it'd be a full view or a click. Okay. And so for us, making sure that we're getting in front of the right audience is absolutely critical. That's one of the ways that we've aligned our interest with our clients' interest to make sure that we're going after what they care for, which is conversions. So we're always optimizing towards not even just those leading indicators, like are they clicking through, but more so to the conversions on the back end. So we have, we might get into a little bit more, but we have some very cutting edge attribution reporting that we've developed that allows us to be able to drill down to those that have seen these ads and then come back and convert it. And in the end, that's really what we care about, is making sure we're driving more conversions. So
that's what I want. I talked to Joey a little bit about that. Say hello to my buddy Joey, by the way. Great guy. The whole team was great. I loved meeting everybody. But I was talking to him a little bit about that because so many people, when they look at their analytics, they're looking at that last click as the end-all be-all of what decides the effectiveness of their campaign. And that made it kind of hard initially for you guys to track the success of what you were doing because it wasn't all about that last click. But you have made a lot of strides, you know, over the last couple of years to really hone in on other metrics that might have, might be a better indicator of the effectiveness of what you're doing. Tell us a little bit about that, about what you've been able to find out about some other metrics that mean, you know, a little bit more than just that last click for your effectiveness.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, one of the examples I gave in the discussion that you sat in on was, you know, if we used a last click attribution to judge various players on football teams, then the quarterbacks wouldn't be the highest paid member of the team, right?
Exactly.
That's a first interaction. So, and you know, $15 to $23 million a year. I mean, obviously, we put value in that first interaction.
Sure.
And so, from a digital perspective, it's not only that first interaction, which is very critical because that's the first time we actually get them in, get them engaged, right? But it's all the ones in between that are leading up to that last click. Sure. And with a display campaign, whether it be video or banner ads, what we're going to see is a lot of those leading indicators. And so when we really looked at this early on and we're running these ads, you know, we would see great engagement, huge lifts in traffic that are coming to the site.
Sure.
But we didn't see much in terms of that last interaction, you know, because people aren't going to see that ad, click on it right away and go through and convert.
Yeah.
You know, 99.5% of the people aren't clicking on ads. And so we developed an attribution. We tried first to go find somebody to partner with. There just wasn't anything out there that we felt provided enough data to provide confidence.
Sure.
But so we had to go out and develop some attribution that allows us to be able to track back to the initial impression and follow them through with all their interactions and engagements with the site to watch to that final conversion. What's a little bit different about what we did versus what was available out there is that really everybody else that we came into contact with that we could find used heavily modeled attribution, meaning that they're taking 5% of the data and modeling that out to extrapolate what they believe the impact to be. We wanted to have far more clear data. And so what we were able to do is develop a system where we have virtually all the data, 95 to 99% of the data that can be delivered line item. Here's each interaction, a date, a timestamp, an IP address. So we know exactly what's going on, which only helps to increase our level of opportunity to optimize toward that end conversion.
That's amazing. What a powerful powerful weapon you have with that when you're talking about putting together analytics and forming campaigns and really understanding the path that customers are taking. That's great. I really enjoyed, you know, you mentioned your presentation at Digital Summit. I really enjoyed it a lot. You gave me the biggest takeaway I had. You know, sometimes you get fixated on one little portion of a a conference like that, and it stays with you long after you leave. And it's probably not even one of the things that you wanted people to take away, but you put up the graphic that showed the average attention span of a goldfish being a full second longer than the average human attention span. And it blew my mind when you put that up on the screen. Tell me about what we're supposed to do with that from an advertising standpoint. How can we capitalize? We're moving so fast. You've got all these different channels that a Genius Monkey has access to, and you're doing all this planning to catch people at the right time in the right place. But how do we take advantage of that little window we have to capture someone's attention through marketing and advertising?
Man, there's so many things we should do with that. My wife actually got my attention just last night. She had recorded some Sunday, or I guess it was weekday morning, like talk news show or something. And they actually mentioned that statistic.
Get out.
Yeah, it was kind of funny, but it was actually in respect to the problem that we have as a society, that we're all always so connected on all of our phones, right? And everything else. And some of the problems that causes, with our kids, with ourselves, and interacting socially and whatever else. So I think, just outside of marketing, I would say we all really need to try and take a moment, slow down a little bit, disconnect every once in a while.
Right.
So a little off topic there, but I think definitely something we all need to be cognizant of.
Life guru Jeremy Hudgens.
But hey, I'm preaching to myself right here, man.
I hear you.
But from a marketing perspective, I think that we just got to understand that it takes so much more to gain the attention of our audience than ever before. And we have to be, if we seriously want to be players in whatever industry you're in, whatever vertical, whatever business, if you really want to be a player in that, then you need to be committed to staying in front of your audience with your message until they're comfortable converting.
Sure.
And that's one of the areas that we kind of brought up that we really see as a challenge for most marketers, is that whether it be budget constraints, whether it be divesting themselves in too many different mediums or whatever it may be, but just not having that full commitment to garner up to the, and I mentioned many different studies, whether it be 28 plus brand interactions or the one study that showed it took one consumer over 900 plus brand interactions to feel comfortable making a purchase on a vehicle.
Right.
Those are daunting numbers. And it takes a lot. So I think that when we realize that the attention span is what it is, that we have so many people that are distracted by so many different things throughout the day, we got to be committed to staying in front of them with our message. Absolutely. And doing something that's going to stand out, right? Yeah. It comes down to the offer too. Like, who are you and what's your offer and what should I do with it and why? Making sure that you have those pieces as well. So. And
you talked about the fact that you might not always be successful in finding the right chord the first time you try an advertisement or the first time you try an approach. You might have to tweak it a little bit. You might have to come back and restructure things a little bit to be more effective. And you encourage that. You don't have to get it right the first time as long as you get it right eventually, right?
Yeah, and I guess I might add to that. You're never going to have it right.
Yeah.
It's about having it right right, or better, I guess we should say.
Sure.
So, one of the things that we always talk about, we do a lot of testing with our ads that we're serving. We've always done a lot of testing, through various A/B testing or multivariate testing on sites and such. But, but testing the ads is definitely something that we want to do as well. And with that, the audience changes what they're going to engage best with as we continue to evolve. I mean, you look at, what colors are in vogue in home decor or fashion in general or whatever. Same thing happens with what it takes to get somebody to pay attention to you. And what we always like to say is that, what they say about opinions. Everybody's got one, right? But,
exactly.
But what we really care about is, what is your customer saying? What does your customer want? And so that's what we need to continually strive to do a better and better job at finding.
Well, you guys are leading the way on that over at Genius Monkey for sure. I know it's a little bit of a cloak and dagger industry. You can't give away too much to us. You have to keep some mystery behind it. But what can you tell us about what's next for Genius Monkey? What are you guys on the cusp of with what you're doing and what you're being able to offer to customers?
Yeah. We're heavily focused right now on reporting and trying to leverage really that attribution tracking and reporting that I discussed, and finding different nuggets that we can pull out of that to give us better understanding about our audience that we're serving to. We frequently talk about every company, it lives within its own ecosystem. Even if you're in competition with the guy across the street, you're still living in your own ecosystem. Your customers are going to be a little bit different than theirs. And so things that we can do, like some of the stuff that we've recently done, is pulling out individual data points to show how much time is it taking for your customer to convert, how many touches is it taking for them to convert, creative level attribution, providing detailed information respective to the creative that we're driving and how that's affecting conversions. Lots of different things like that is really what our focus is right now, so that we can take more and more information directly from your audience, directly from your customer, so that we understand better what it is that they want and what they require in order to feel comfortable doing business with you.
Awesome. Great. That's so important. So geniusmonkey.com is obviously where you can go to find out more information. Yep. If people wanted to contact you directly to get some more information, what's the best way for people to get a hold of you, Jeremy?
Probably just on LinkedIn, the best way to get me.
Perfect. Jeremy Hudgens, Genius Monkey, joining us today. I really appreciate you taking the time out. Make sure you tell everybody I said hello.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan. Great to see you.
Awesome. Absolutely. You as well. So there you have it. Jeremy Hudgens from Genius Monkey talking a little bit about their very unique platform and how it can increase your brand strategy. We definitely appreciate you coming on, and I hope that everybody just learned more about crafting your digital presence and being unique with your approach to reaching your customers. Before you finish your first cup of coffee, then your competition will all day. We thank you very much for joining us. Have a great day.